Hello, what's the secret for today? Did you know that the Mariana Trench, the deepest point on Earth, is polluted with plastic? There's also a mysterious squid with arms stretching up to 12 meters in a deadly island full of venomous snakes. Let's dive into the depths of Earth and space to uncover. In the deep, dark corners of the ocean, countless mysterious creatures remain largely unexplored. One such creature is the Magnapinna squid, a fascinating and eerie species found in the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans, living at depths greater than 2,000 meters. Despite being incredibly elusive, scientists have only encountered around 20 of these squids, with most sightings occurring by chance when deep-sea vehicles accidentally capture them on camera. The Magnapinna squid is unlike anything you've seen before. With its long, thin arms that resemble ribbons or sticks, this creature looks as though it came from another world. Its arms are so long they can be 15 to 20 times the length of its mantle, and the total length of the squid, arms included, can reach up to 12 meters. The squid's large fins are its primary means of movement. Since observations are rare, scientists still know very little about the Magnapinna's behavior and lifestyle. What they do know is that these squids' long arms may help them read the ocean floor to catch small crustaceans or even attract prey. In the Sakha Republic, Yakutia, of Russia lies the Mirny diamond mine, home to the world's deepest diamond quarry, the kimberlite pipe. Discovered in 1955 from a forecast map by Soviet geologists, it was confirmed 2 years later by an expedition led by Yuri Kabar and Ekaterina Alagina. The quarry reaches a depth of 735 meters and spans nearly 1.5 kilometers in diameter. Following the discovery, the construction of the quarry and the nearby settlement Mirny began. By the early 1960s, at least 2 kilograms of diamonds were being mined annually. As the quarry grew, so did the settlement, which later became a city. A serpentine road winds down the quarry's walls, used by workers, but tourists can enjoy views from an observation deck. For those interested in kimberlite samples, the Mirny Museum in the city displays over 20 exhibits. Despite its challenges, the Mirny diamond mine remains a fascinating and vital part of Russia's mining history. Up next, we have a location on Mount Everest that, despite its name, holds far more danger than beauty. When you hear the name Rainbow Valley, you might think of a beautiful, sun-drenched paradise with vibrant, scenic views. However, Rainbow Valley is actually one of the most perilous places on Earth. Located on the northern ridge of Mount Everest, in the so-called death zone above an altitude of 26,200 feet, this area is far from a peaceful retreat. It's a section of the mountain where climbers who unfortunately did not make it to the summit rest. The name Rainbow Valley doesn't refer to a colorful landscape, but instead comes from the sight of brightly colored gear worn by climbers. Around 200 climbers are believed to have died in this region, and their colorful gear stands out starkly against the snow-covered slopes. This striking contrast gives the area its name. The reason these bodies remain in place is due to the extreme conditions at this height. The terrain is so difficult and dangerous that retrieving them is nearly impossible, making it too risky for rescue teams. This site serves as a powerful reminder of the mountain's nature, where the pursuit of a dream often leads to bad outcomes. But the deadly dangers of Everest are far from the only shocking surprises on our planet. In fact, in Laos, an unsettling event in the 1980s sparked widespread panic, only to reveal an even more bizarre explanation. In 1975, after the fall of South Vietnam, Laos and North Vietnam, with support from the Soviet Union, began taking actions against the Hmong tribes who had fought alongside U.S. forces during the Vietnam War. By 1981, refugees reported an unusual event. A yellow, rain-like substance fell in their villages. Soon after, some people began experiencing health issues, including convulsions, bleeding, and in certain cases, blindness. Those who were exposed to the substance in the most affected areas unfortunately died. This led to concerns about the use of biological weapons. There were rumors suggesting that the Soviet Union had provided trichothecene mycotoxins, a toxin produced by fungi, to the governments of Laos and Vietnam. These rumors claimed that at least 10,000 people were impacted by this alleged biological attack. The Soviet Union denied any involvement, and an independent investigation was launched. The investigation ultimately revealed that the substance was not a biological weapon. Instead, it was found to be the feces of honeybees, which had been misidentified, leading to the initial panic. With the truth uncovered, the situation calmed, and the fear dissipated. Strange events don't just happen on Earth. Even in the farthest reaches of space, we see things that challenge our understanding of the universe. Before we continue, I have a special 10-second request for all of you listening. If you can help me in any way, just press the notification bell and hit that subscribe button. It means the world. It really supports this channel. And if you do that for me, I promise my team and I will do everything we can to make this show even better for you. Deal. The first ever photograph of Earth from space was taken on October 24, 1946, from a V-2 rocket. Though black and white, this groundbreaking image gave humanity its first true view of our planet from the outside. Since then, technology has evolved, and we now see Earth in vibrant colors. When it comes to space, we often think of galaxies and nebulae as equally colorful. However, if we were to fly past them in a spaceship, we'd be disappointed. The stunning colors we see in photos are enhanced through various techniques. Astronomers capture these images using multiple filters, which are then combined into one photograph. The Hubble Space Telescope, for example, uses a specific color palette to reveal space's hidden beauty. Each color in these photos represents a different element. Dark red shows ionized sulfur, red is ionized hydrogen, and blue highlights ionized oxygen. While we admire the vivid colors, scientists use them to analyze the chemical composition of different areas in a nebula, providing a deeper understanding of the universe. Space might not be as colorful as we thought, but back on Earth, there's a real-life island you'd never want to visit, unless you want to meet one of the most venomous creatures on the planet. The Brazilian island of Queimada Grande, also known as Snake Island, could easily become a top tourist destination. However, it's not a place anyone would want to visit due to one major issue. The island is home to one of the most venomous snakes in the world, the Bothrops insularis, also known as the golden lancehead. These snakes are far more dangerous than cobras, with their venom capable of causing severe harm in a matter of moments. Just one drop of venom is enough to kill a small mammal in a very short time, with the venom acting rapidly. In addition to their venom, these snakes can grow up to 118 centimeters in length and are easily recognized by their distinct yellow-green coloring. While it might seem like keeping the island closed off would help the snake population thrive, unfortunately the number of Bothrops has been declining. This is primarily due to the island's small size, which has led to genetic issues among the snakes, including inbreeding and potential reproductive problems. Some reports suggest that this has contributed to a loss in reproductive success, which could lead to the eventual disappearance of these dangerous creatures from the island. Would you dare visit Snake Island knowing it's home to one of the most venomous snakes in the world, or is it better left untouched? Let us know in the comments below. The Mariana Trench holds the title as the deepest trench on Earth. Its deepest point, known as the Challenger Deep, plunges to around 10,900 meters. Despite being one of the most extreme and least explored places on our planet, the trench is not immune to the effects of human activity. While we might expect the trench to remain untouched by pollution, scientists have discovered that even this remote zone has been tainted by plastic waste. In 2019, a research team from Newcastle University in the United Kingdom conducted a study on amphipods, small shrimp-like creatures taken from various parts of the world's oceans. Their findings were shocking. The deeper the amphipods lived, the more plastic they ingested. Amphipods from the Challenger Deep were the worst offenders. While only about half of the amphipods from other locations had plastic in their stomachs, 100% of the amphipods from the Challenger Deep were found to have plastic in their digestive systems. The analysis revealed traces of cellulose fibers, commonly used in clothing production, along with nylon and polyethylene, showing the widespread contamination of plastic, even in the most remote corners of the ocean. And while plastic is contaminating the ocean's depths, back on land, a strange and foul delicacy is making waves for its, unusual ingredients. Would you dare to try it? If you think you're a true cheese connoisseur, ready to try any variety, then you might want to meet Casu Marzu, a Sicilian delicacy that's not for the faint of heart. Known as rotten cheese, Casu Marzu earns its name for a very specific reason. It contains live cheese fly larvae. Gourmets who enjoy this delicacy are encouraged to eat it with the larvae still inside, though some prefer to remove the wriggling creatures before eating. Casu Marzu is made from a type of sheep's cheese called Sardinian Pi Carina. To make this cheese, it's allowed to ferment far longer than usual, enabling the rotting process to begin. The cheese flies lay their eggs inside the cheese, and as the larvae hatch, they help break down the fats, turning the cheese into a soft, almost creamy consistency. A special liquid known as tears also forms inside the cheese head. While it's considered a delicacy in Sicily, Casu Marzu can be dangerous to eat because the larvae are highly resistant to human stomach acid and can survive for a while in the gastrointestinal tract. This led to the cheese being banned for sale in Italy for some time, though it's now available in some Sicilian dairies. But not all mysteries are as easily explained. Take a look at the bizarre and unsolved case of a priest in a small French village. His discoveries may hold the key to an ancient secret. In 1885, priest Béranger Saunier began serving in Rennes-le-Château, a small French village. In 1891, he borrowed money to restore the church, and during the work, he discovered 4 encrypted parchment scrolls. These contained family trees and messages from the New Testament. After consulting with the Bishop of Carcassonne, Saunier was sent to Paris to study them further. The contents remain a mystery, but the discovery led him to behave strangely. He later found the tomb of the Marquise de Blanchefort and, despite being a priest, destroyed the tombstone, believing it connected to the scrolls. He then corresponded secretly across Europe and spent large amounts on postage. By 1896, despite earning only 60 francs a year, he funded significant village improvements, including the Magdala Tower and Villa Britannia. He even built a statue of Asmodeus, the keeper of secrets, and created strange frescoes. In 1917, Saunier died of a heart attack. Strangely, his maid ordered a coffin just days before his death. The date was also marked on the destroyed tombstone of the Marquise. The source of his wealth and the secrets of the scrolls remain unsolved. And speaking of mysterious figures, imagine a photo of Earth that makes you realize how small we really are. A photo that changed everything about our place in the universe. The Earth may seem vast, supporting over 8 billion people, with 15% of its surface uninhabited. Yet, in the vastness of the universe, our planet is just a tiny speck. One of the best ways to grasp this is by looking at the pale blue dot. Photo taken by NASA's Voyager 1 spacecraft on February 14, 1990. After completing its mission in the Kuiper Belt, Voyager captured this image of Earth from over 3 billion miles away. Suggested by astronomer Carl Sagan, this iconic photo shows Earth as a tiny dot in the distance, reminding us of our smallness in the grand universe. The image was created by combining photos taken with red, blue, and green filters. The oblong stripes in the photo are due to sunlight reflecting through the camera's optics. Sagan, moved by the image, wrote a powerful essay reflecting on humanity's place in the cosmos, often compared to Steve Jobs' 2005 Stanford speech, both challenging us to appreciate the fleeting nature of life. From the vastness of space to the deep, hidden corners of the sea, we've seen how nature surprises us. But there's one more fascinating creature whose unusual features have fishermen across Australia using it as bait. One of the most popular baits used by Australian fishermen is the beach worm. These creatures may look unsettling, with sharp jaws on their heads and bodies that can grow up to 2 meters in length. Despite being completely blind, they have an incredible sense of smell. While their appearance might seem intimidating, fishermen aren't bothered by them. In fact, beach worms are abundant in Australia, and most fish are drawn to them as bait. Catching these worms is surprisingly easy. Fishermen wait for low tide and use the scent of rotten fish to lure the worms out of the sand. All it takes is holding the fish over a hole for just a few seconds, and the worm will surface. Then, a special device is used to gently press the worm's head, allowing the fisherman to pull it out of the sand. The worms are then placed in fresh seawater to stay alive, or sometimes soaked briefly in alcohol and frozen for storage. The large size of these worms means they can often be used for several baits, with just 15 centimeters being enough to attract most fish. Australian beach worms are common in huge numbers along the surf beaches of Queensland, New South Wales, and South Australia, making them an easy and effective bait for local fishermen. Would you be brave enough to handle a 2-meter beach worm, or does the idea of using them as bait freak you out? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and follow the channel to discover more interesting things. Bettiscombe Manor, a medieval estate in Dorset, England, is famously tied to the legend of the Screaming Skull. This isn't just a spooky tale, it's based on a true story. The skull is said to belong to a servant, or sometimes the daughter of the estate's original owner, and it's kept within the walls of the Great Hall. The story dates back to the 17th century. According to legend, the youngest daughter of the estate's first owner was attacked by a robber while walking in the forest. She was found just before she died, and before her passing, she made her family promise to bury her head separately within the manor's walls, as she loved her home and wanted to remain there forever. However, her family didn't keep their promise, and she was buried in the nearby churchyard. Afterward, strange occurrences began in the manor, groans, screams, and shaking walls, which only stopped when the owner finally fulfilled the daughter's request. Later, the new owners of the house found the skull in a closet and disposed of it, but the paranormal activity immediately returned. Attempts to rid the manor of the skull caused even worse disturbances, and in the end, the skull was sealed within the walls to keep both the spirit at peace and the haunting under control. In physics, the Meissner effect refers to the complete expulsion of a magnetic field from a conductor when it transitions into a superconducting state. This phenomenon was first observed in 1933 by German physicists Walter Fritz Meissner and Robert M. Moxon. When a ferromagnetic material is brought close to a magnet, it experiences magnetic induction, causing it to stick to the magnet. However, in the case of a superconductor, when an external magnetic field is applied, the magnetic induction remains zero and the magnetic flux is expelled. This results in quantum levitation, where the magnet doesn't attract the superconductor but instead repels it, causing the magnet to hover above it. This incredible effect can only be observed when the superconductor is cooled, typically with liquid nitrogen. The expulsion of the magnetic field causes the magnet to lift off and float, creating the stunning Meissner effect. While this phenomenon is not as widely used in practical applications, its principles are essential in fields like maglev, magnetic levitation, and quantum computing research. Superconductors are bending the rules of physics, but how about a human skin robot that could change the future of robotics? That's the next major innovation we're diving into. In recent years, scientists at the University of Tokyo achieved a groundbreaking feat by creating a robotic face covered in human skin cells. While experiments like this have been attempted before, this team succeeded in connecting these cells into a single durable layer. This skin isn't just realistic, it's incredibly resilient. It can even heal itself after being damaged. To make this happen, the researchers took skin cell samples from humans and grew them on a collagen framework. They then placed this skin-like material on a resin base. The final step involved using a special collagen gel to attach the skin to the robot's face, replacing the previous method that relied on microscopic anchors that caused the tissue to deteriorate quickly. With this new development, scientists have taken a major step forward in creating robots that are not just functional but resemble humans in form and function. From robotic faces to unusual fishing techniques, there are countless oddities in the world. But some of the most interesting ones lie in the small details, like how salt can help fishermen harvest mollusks in a truly unique way. Some fishing techniques might seem downright bizarre, and sea fishing is no exception. Take the method used by a mollusk hunter who decided to document his unusual approach and share it online. His technique for catching valuable mollusks is not only fascinating but also quite unique. The process begins with the hunter carefully selecting the right spot. Once he finds it, he smooths out the sand and begins searching for small holes. These are the burrows of sea mollusks, commonly known as razor clams. Next, he takes a bottle of salt and pours it generously into the holes. After a short while, the mollusks begin to emerge from their burrows. So why do the mollusks leave their homes? It turns out these creatures are highly sensitive to changes in the water's composition. The salt irritates them, causing them to instinctively flee their holes, making them easy for the hunter to collect by hand. In countries like China, Italy, Spain, and Portugal, razor clams are considered a delicacy. These mollusks are rich in phosphorus, iron, and protein, and are known for being healthy, low in calories, and popular in local cuisine. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support means a lot to us. Click on the video that appears on your screen right now. I hope you'll love this content. Comment below about the next topic you'd like to see featured on our channel. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Thanks for being with us. Leave a comment, like to show your support, and remember to hit that subscribe button for more exciting videos. See you next time.